Okay, so in this tutorial, um, I'm going to go over regarding where I left off, the AI shadow mat right here. I named it Infinity Wall for my zooming out, my cylindrical based Infinity Wall. And I'll explain why I'm using a cylindrical room versus just a right angled infinity wall. Okay. Right now what I just did was I selected an object and I pressed F as in Frank just to zoom in on it to help me focus the camera onto a target. Yeah. Okay, so here's my infinity wall, my shader, the AI shadow mat for my infinity wall, right? Okay. So this thing is special, and it especially is helpful for lighting and rendering a room or a scene. And I'm gonna select it, right? And it's this one right here. And if you want these icons to be bigger, you press and hold Alt ALT, and with your right mouse button you click and press down and drag, and it ups the size of it. Again, that's hold down Alt and also hold down the right mouse button together. Now you see it looks like an up and down zooming arrow right here. You see that? So if I pull to the left, makes it smaller. Pull to the right, makes it bigger. And pull to the right some more, makes it bigger. I'm gonna just undo that. I'm gonna go like that. There. Alright. So I have it selected, the shader. I'm gonna go to its attribute editor. See, here it is. AI shadow mat, infinity wall. Name is right there. Alright, first thing. My scene background. There's only a couple of things you need to screw around with. Scene background, okay? That's by default. Okay. You notice here the background color, which basically means the color of this infinity wall. You know what? I have it selected and I don't want that to be selectable. So in my infinity room I have here, I'm gonna set it to R as in reference. See? That way you can't grab it. Wait. R, damn it. Alright, good. Can't grab it. Alright, so I'm gonna select the shader again, go to my attribute editor, scene background, and you just notice it's grayed out. I can't choose a color for it. I'm gonna select it and choose background color. Don't ask me why it gives these, generic, arbitrary, can you pronounce that, color, name, right? Just remember, just set it to background color. That's all you gotta do. Then you can click on the color. See? Now you can choose a color. And what color am I gonna choose? Maybe something darker bluish. Next, background color. Then you choose a color. Alpha mask. Turn this off. Whatever you do, turn this off for now. If and when, hopefully, in the next, when you take the next level of a 3D animation course or whatever, hopefully I'll go over this stuff. But for now, just turn it off. Yeah, just turn it off. Diffuse. Everything is good. Just make sure to turn on indirect diffuse. What this means is that, like I mentioned in class, Arnold, the Arnold render, its lighting, I like to call it its lighting system. In my opinion, it's a system, you know. This shader makes it so that when the lights and the indirect illumination from your HDRI dome, because it's gonna throw light and light energy, I like to call it light energy, into the scene. It's gonna interact with the shader. It's gonna interact with the shader, which is on top of this wall, okay? And when it does that, it's gonna produce indirect illumination. It's gonna indirectly cause illumination. It's just good stuff. Turn it on. Color, just leave it to white. Don't screw with that. Don't screw with any of that. Just turn that on. Specular. Make sure to turn on. Well, if you want the ground to be slightly reflective, you turn on the indirect specular. If you want the ground to be a bit, more on the matte side with no reflectivity, you just turn it off. So for now, I'm going to turn it on. And when I turn it on, this term right here, roughness, what this means is how fuzzy the reflection is. So yeah, when it says roughness, it basically means how fuzzy do you want the reflectivity of the floor to be. If you set it to a 1, it's going to be a perfect mirror reflection. If you set it where it is right now at 0.2, it's going to have a nice little soft haze to the reflection, which is basically what you want. And that's about it. Right, background color, which allows you to choose the color and turn off the alpha mask. Shadow color is black, but maybe I'll screw with that later. You could give a softer grayish shadow if you want, like that, if you want, or something around here if you want. And then, I'm going to just set it to black for now, just to show you the difference. And then make sure 100% turn on indirect diffuse. And I like to turn on indirect specular. These are two different. And this one is optional. You can turn it on or off to have a reflective surface, right? All right. A side note, if you're into techie kind of stuff, this shader, it does not work if you use GPU rendering, right? If you know about GPU rendering, stuff like that, this special shader unfortunately does not work with GPU rendering. But for everything else, which is computer CPU based rendering, this will work with no problem. So only when GPU rendering. And GPU rendering is not your default rendering. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about having that on by accident. So yeah, just FYI. For people who know about graphics card rendering, everyone else you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so I got that. So we only have two shaders. We have this one, the shadow matte shader, and we have our Teapot shader, right? I'm going to select that. I'm also going to select this, holding down Shift. Okay, then I'm going to press this button right here, the little box and the two arrows. That way we see both. I'm going to marquee select that, put it here, grab that, put it here, and here is our two shaders. These are the two main shaders you just need for now, and you're good. With just these two shaders, you can do a whole bunch of stuff. Okay? Alright, next, I want to save this. I'm going to File, Increment and Save, Control Alt S. Control Alt S. If you look over here, I already have it at 0.0002 incremental save. I'm going to do it again, increment and save. Well, now it's 0003. Okay? That's something you should know. Alright, now what I want to do here is let's go to town and let's add your very first HDRI global illumination. So what the hell does that mean, right? Well, I'll just point out something here. 1 second. All right, so let's look at this. And this one's okay. Let's look at something, try to find something better. I just saw one right now. Where the hell did it go? Like this. All right, so you see this image here? Now, you see this? This looks like garbage, right? It's really harsh. It's pure black shadows, right? And the colors and everything's dull and just ugly. This one, you know, uh it's nice, you know. You see the shadows are soft, and you notice that there's variations in the strength of the shadow. You know, there's a gradation to the shadow, and the shadows are crisp. Over here, the shadows are fuzzy and just ugly. And then you have also the lighting. If you know things about lighting and stuff, there's indirect lighting going on. Yeah. Whereas over here, it's just one tone color. This has all variations in the color and the lights. Over here, this guy right here, this looks like trash, right? It's really dark. It's just ugly. And then this, uh, yeah, okay. So going back to here, uh, okay. I guess this is an example of global illumination. So you see how the light in here, it illuminates all around the room. It surrounds the room. The light surrounds the room, you know. And then you see over here the crevices. It's not completely dark and dead, you know, and black. It's just like it simulates what real world lighting does, and that's more or less what global illumination is. Okay. Um. Yeah, this is nice. This is nice too. Yeah. You see how it has nice soft shadows, and the crevices are pitch black, right? Remember how the one that I said was ugly, the shadows are pitch black, and there's all sorts of color variations in here too. So that's more or less global illumination, you know, like super simplified examples. All right, let me get out of the way. Now, what we're gonna do is make something. And for lighting and rendering, we're going to go, instead of modeling, we're going to go into the rendering tab, rendering department. With that being said, we are in the rendering department. The last menu sets have changed, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to go to Arnold, okay? Arnold renderer. It's a renderer system. And lights, Arnold lights, and let's put in a physical sky. Arnold lights physical sky. Just do this one thing. Okay. Click it. If you look at my attribute editor, it says here AI physical sky. All right. If you look over here, AI sky dome light 1. I'm gonna zoom out, and boom. This weird looking thing that looks like a massive sphere, and it's pitch black, like we're in the inside of a sphere, right? But it's not. This is a simulation a of a global illumination. It just looks like that basically. And you look over here, the icon looks different. So this is not a geometry. This is not a 3D mesh. Well, yeah, it's not a 3D mesh. Okay. Don't try to delete the faces or things like that. All right, so here's your very first global illumination AI sky dome light. Okay, again, that was under rendering department, Arnold, lights, physical sky, right? Don't get annoyed with me if I repeat things, alright? Because I just have to. Okay, now, yeah, so that's the physical side, and that's 15 minutes. And should I go further? All right, I'll just go 5 more minutes. So we have that there, right? Now, I wanna introduce you to the Arnold. Okay, yeah, Arnold. Open Arnold render view. Arnold, open Arnold render view. Please write this down. You will forget. Just like this one, you will also forget that. I guarantee you, you will forget it. Please write it down. Save yourself the headache. Okay, Arnold. Open Arnold render view. Okay, click it. Boom. This thing right here is the magical window to lighting and rendering. Okay, where all the magic happens, where you get to see it rendered. Now it's pitch black. There's nothing here. All right, Arnold render view, but it's pitch black. What do? Well, first move this out of the way. In your perspective, right, camera, I want you to go under. Click this, film gate. Right, film gate. Film gate. And then no, actually, just click on this one right here, resolution gate. Resolution gate. Yeah, resolution gate. This guy right there. Now you have your picture frame of rendering. Okay, and I'm gonna click on any object again. I'm gonna press F to frame it. Right. So like I said, if anytime your camera just starts to act real wonky, like where it starts to really annoy you for whatever reason, just select an object, press F, and it should resolve it fairly quick. Okay, so now I'm just setting up a shot. Okay, and then anyway, so here we are. I set up my shot. I staged it. Okay, I went like this. I'm gonna hold Alt and 5. Okay, so I want some negative space here, some negative space here, here, and here. Maybe a little bit here and here. So I have a nice balance, right? A composition. Maybe I'll just turn it like that. So I have something coming at me from the foreground, something like that. Just to stage the shot, like in photography. Ooh, forgot about that too. You know what? This is where it starts to get fun, where you start staging it. Setup. Yeah. Kind of want that. Zoom out a bit. Just trying to be mindful of my framing. Okay. Alright, maybe something like this. And I'm also looking at my backdrop too. I want my horizon line to be not too high. Maybe something like that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm cool with that. All right. So I got that right. I want this. I want this render like this. Maybe a little bit lower. Okay. Negative space. Negative space. Just enough space here and here. Okay. All right. Looking at my overall composition. I like it. Now, I want to make it so that I cannot move my camera. I want to make it so that I cannot move my camera. What I can do is, I'm going to click on that. No, this guy. Lock camera, right here. Lock camera. that will lock your camera. Right, so later on when you forget and your camera doesn't want to move, it's this one, lock camera. See, now it's locked. What I'm showing you is the process in lighting and rendering. Alright, or at least a very simplified version. So we got that set. Now, what am I gonna do now? I wanna see my pretty picture and colors. You see this? I wanna click on that. Start IPR. Alright, okay. So here is our initial render. I'm just looking down here at the error. And I guess that's fine, whatever. Alright, so that was 20 minutes. We have our initial render. First thing you'll notice is all this noise, all this flaky noise, and it's really ugly. I don't like it. I also notice these shadows. This shadow, I don't like it. So first, let's fix this noise. And this part is really important. You need to write this down. I'm going to go here, right here. You see that? Display render settings, right here. With the little gear icon right there next to the cue ball, right? Render settings. This one is critical. If you miss this, man, sorry, man. You need to know this. Arnold renderer, okay. Imagers, right? Arnold renderer, first tab, second tab, imagers. Add imager. Denoiser optics. Ooh, look at that. Bam. All the noise is gone. What the hell is this? That's fine. But now you see the noise is gone. Okay? So denoiser optics. What that does is it's a kind of sort of new technology. I forgot when it came out. Maybe a couple years ago. Not that long ago, I think. I don't remember exactly. Well, what it does is it and just look it up. Basically, it calculates and kind of fakes it so that it hides the noise. This right here is kind of splotchy, so we'll fix that too. But for now, denoiser optics. Okay. And then the other thing I want to share is to save thumbnails of your render so you can compare before and after. You see this here? Click it. God, why doesn't it work? Click it. Oh, there it is. Anyway, so yeah, just you could grab that, and then you click that. It saves a snapshot. And you could even write over here something. You could write down denoiser test render 1 if you want, and it's gonna save it. Where? Yeah, there you go. There you see. Okay, and that's your very beginning intro to lighting and rendering. Okay, and again, Arnold renderer, denoiser optics 1. Boom. Imagers. Okay, alright, bye.